polymer-ish mag pull handguards, the polymer, the MO SLs, things like that. Everything that has an MLOK system on it really doesn't do much for their MLOK rail covers Type 2. And they tell you that right in the instructions, but if you have a ton of them, you're probably like, well, dang, I can't use them. Well, in some cases, because in this case, you can put them on, and in some cases, on the guards at the top. Obviously, the SL does not have vents or holes on the top, so you can't do that. So if you try to put it in on the side, which is what she said, when she said what she said, you're gonna run into this issue. So go ahead and put this in here, and you can see it doesn't want to line up. It doesn't want to stay. Here's these wings, but we can push it down and go ahead and put the center locking piece in there. And it feels like it's in there. Like that really has some pressure on it actually to put in there, and then it just comes right off. So that sucks. And I know a lot of you guys have this kind of handguard system, and a lot of people use the MLOK Type 2 because, well, they're awesome. They have great grip on them, and yeah, they mitigate heat very well, and they work very well on rails. So a lot of people have been stuck using like the Type 1 or like these, the BCM rail covers that are just flat, or well, the MLOK slot covers. You know what I'm saying? So something like this. But let's say you don't want something like that. You want something bigger and grippier. Well, it's a personal problem. But, and there's always a but, I'll kind of show you how it actually works to make those work for your setup. So what we're going to do is we'll show you real briefly how we actually make these and modify them into the ones that you're going to see here in just a couple minutes. And then, yeah, we'll show them how they work with the rest of the polymer handguards, as well as some of the metal ones out there. And yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap that up. Keep it nice and short for you guys. Let's dive in. Okay guys, let's take a look at this. These are really easy to make. I know some of you guys are more artsy craftsy than others, so we'll do this for all skill levels. So what we want to do here is take just a complete one of the Type 2 covers, and so we have that plus a little insert here that goes down and locks it into the rail. And we'll go ahead and put that aside for right now, and all we want to do here is score, you see this here, right along this inside edge. So you basically want to take a knife there. Guys, be careful. Make sure you use your parents' permission. Something about an easy bake oven. And so you want to score right along here, and then turn it over and do the same thing there. So right where the wings meet the body is where we want to do, where we want to be doing this. So again, you need to score it a couple times. It is faster with the Dremel, and it is faster with snips. I didn't really have either one of those on right now, and I didn't really care to go looking for them because I'm in the middle of organizing. So nothing's organized. So once you get that scored, we go ahead and take the completed piece. You can see I already removed one of the wings here. No, that's not that one. No, we'll just do it live. So removed none of the wings here because, of course, high production values. So let's take a look here. Let's go ahead and grab that with a pair of pliers, kind of on the corner there, and then bend it. And this one, so you don't score it enough, that kind of come off in pieces. But if you do it right, then it'll just pop right off. So that might have been one of the ones I had for TV consumption there. Okay. Let's drop everything here. But you can see here, I'm kind of just busting these up. So when you don't score them enough, you will still have a nice clean line there, but a lot of times it will not give you the same satisfaction. Okay. All right, so we have one here with the one-winged dove. So go ahead and rip that one off there. And again, like with snips, much faster. I understand that, and Dremel much faster. The Dremel, my kid's asleep right now. I can't use the Dremel, so all right, there we go. All right, so when you're done, you're gonna have pieces that look roughly like this. So you start it like this, and you just remove the wings, and now you just need to go ahead and do a little bit of finish work. And so at this time too, we're gonna go ahead and grab our little tank traps there, the inner pieces. Go ahead and snap those in half. Now, when they snap in half, they don't do so evenly in the most cases. So what you'll have is like one of these tabs that's longer than the other. So when you use it to secure these things, it will not line up 100%, as you can see here. So I'll don't kind of quite line up there. So that's not a big deal because we're going to go ahead and do some surface finishing here as well on those. So, but this is just how to prepare one of them, and obviously I've just got a stack of these things right now, and you guys will see how pretty easy that it is to do. So what I'm just going to do is take some sandpaper, nothing too harsh. This is actually just a real fine grit. Yeah, 150. You guys will know more about that than I do. All right, so all I'm going to do is take this thing and sand off the rough edges. And see how we're now down those rough edges there. It's nice and smooth. And how rough the other side is. So let's go ahead and take that side off too. Once it feels nice and smooth, I can run my finger across it with no real effort. And that's good. And then they kind of line up a little bit weird. Like you'd have to go through and sand every one of these very heavily if you want to get them 100% lined up. It's not visible to the naked eye, so I don't really care on mine. So what I'm doing here is just removing the corners. And not only does that make it a little bit smoother and easier to handle, like your mother, it also brings back the rounded edge of the wings here. So you have kind of that similar profile there, even though you don't have the wings anymore. And the wings are what stop you from actually mounting these things on a lot of the Mo handguards and such. So we'll go ahead and chop the rest of these off here. And you don't have to go to town on this things. You don't have to like destroy them to get that. I mean, that wasn't really a whole lot, and they're pretty much good to go right there. So we'll take the little center pieces, and all I'm going to do is just a real light rub on all four corners, like you do. And again, we don't want to go to town on these either because you'll see that when they sit back in their little slots, they don't. If you take off too much of the corner, they don't really line up and look very good. This is just because you are not going to have enough area with those wings missing to cover up the sharp edges on these. And if you put them in there and really grind them down too much, they will look really goofy when they sit in the panel. You'll see here in a second. All right, there we go. All right, so nothing too fancy. It doesn't have to be perfect. I do spray paint a lot of my stuff, and I found that it seems like the spray paint almost kind of damages the material a little bit in the sense that they seem a little bit more mushy or softer. So if you're going to do this, I would recommend doing it before you spray paint, not an idiot like me. So let's take a look here. All right, so there goes our centerpiece. We'll go ahead and those locking tabs there, and then pop the other one in there, and see how the corners look. But if we don't do these parts right, how they look really weird. If we leave them straight, they look really weird too. So I just kind of round it off. So once it's in there, just kind of give it a quick tug and lock. Now none of these are ever going to stay together because I'm going to spray paint them and then I'm going to break them all apart so that everything looks different and sort of deliberately discombobulated. But that is essentially the end piece right there. That is the fruits of our labors. And as you can see, it's about 2/3 the size of the regular Type 2 rail cover. Now, so again, let's look at the backflow handguard. We'll take another look here in a second. But so when we go to put these together with these things, you can use them, but pretty much on the bottom. You can't. There's nothing on top, right? So the MLOK handguard with the MLOK, nothing on top. So if I put one in here and put it in there, this is really the only place I can get them to stay. Now, if I put one over here, let's see if we have a spare one here. There we go. If I put it in here, you guys can see there's too much room there. So that was one. You can actually get it to stay. I mean, it will go in there and stay, but you'll see here. Again, we'll show you guys more on an actual rifle in a second. But yeah, so these don't want to stay in at all. So just pop them right out, so they're useless. But this right here, we'll go ahead and glue shrimp this thing here. I actually have these little tabs underneath these little spots here. Then you can go ahead and use your thumbnail to pop open the center locking piece. So we obviously know that we can't use this here, but here we can. Go ahead, slide it in there. You'll feel it lock just like the normal ones. All right, go ahead, press that in there, press it in there, and now that you have a, basically a Type 2 or with almost the size of like the Type 1s, and this does not come out. This doesn't come out at all. So this is exactly how this is supposed to work. It just doesn't have the wings that push it away from the body of the rail. So in a minute, we'll just kind of go over another rail system and kind of see how that looks with it. But you can kind of see the potential there. You can actually start mounting your Type 2 covers, everywhere that you need them, that you can't mount them currently. I understand why Magpul did it. If you have a curve that you want to put that on there, that's awesome. That's kind of what they're for. But it really limits your ability to do stuff like this. So we'll go ahead and go up real quick to check this out on another gun, and I'll show you what I'm talking about and how sweet it looks, and we'll wrap this up. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and take a look at this as it stands now. And so here is one of the modified ones that we have, the cut down wings. And I like to cut my center pieces apart, the little locking pieces, because I like to mix them and match them to make them look like they're not really supposed to be there, because I'm that guy. So you can see kind of how the that's a different cross section than the regular normal Type 2. And kind of bear with me, guys. I actually just got back from the ER a couple hours ago, so my hands are a little shaky. That's why. So, anyways, we have this right here, and this is the new modified one. And so I'll show you how close it matches with the BCM panels in terms of width. So you can see that there it is just a little bit wider, but matches up pretty well. But you actually have much more of that gripping surface because you're retaining all those little, they're not polymids, they're something else that they call them these days. But so yeah, those are there and they're awesome. So let's go ahead and take a look. And sorry, a little bit of camera wobble there. So we'll go ahead and look at installing one of the old ones. So that's just one of the old ones right there. There we go. So just the regular standard ones, and then we'll go ahead and put our two locking pieces in, just like that. And again, this is an aluminum rail, so just your standard rail installation. Now we have one of the newer ones here, and you can see how thin that is compared to the originals. I popped it into place there. And you notice that it doesn't even overhang the rail at all on the sides. It just stops right when the rail does. So we'll go ahead and pop it on there, put the little locking bits in there. And there you go, just like the regular Type 2, it locks right in. And then it doesn't come out at all because you don't have any of the wings to like even pry against. You'd probably be able to get this out faster than you could that. But just for normal removal, we'll go ahead and use mosing around because, internet clout or something. There you go. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do this all on one table right now because my arm is not too cooperative. So I do apologize for the shaking of the camera. We will do something better here in the future for you. So we'll go ahead and pop that regular one off there and pop the modified off there. So you can see that it works just fine. And it just has the slightly smaller footprint. Again, it does stop. That's right there. It'll stop right when the rail stops. It's really, really nice for that grip because you get that central core grip. You're not really touching a whole lot of the wing in most cases. I mean, my thumb is right here when it wraps around. But other than that, I'm not really getting a whole lot of benefit out of those wings if I can't use the guard that I want. So that gives me all the control and grip, a little bit lighter weight too, because if you cover your gun in these things, they will add up. And yeah, makes it really, really nice too. And light there. You will also get some extra ventilation too. These will allow a little bit more heat to come out because they're not covering up everything. But, you know, that's kind of neither here nor there. So let's go ahead and take a look at it on a polymer handguard. Okay, here is the B5 Systems super narrow handguard that we're reviewing. It's pretty cool actually so far. But again, as with most things, you could not mount the Type 1s on there, or sorry, the Type 2s in an unmodified state. You could mount them on the top and the bottom, but well, I already got stuff there, so that doesn't really help me out. And I wanted something that's a little bit more robust than like the BCM normal, just kind of flat rail covers. And so these were perfect if I could get them to fit. So that's kind of what drove the project to be working here. So they kind of go in all my favorite spots. You know what I'm talking about right there. Yeah, that's right. Comb your beard. And over here, pretty much the same thing on that side as well. And so we're nice and symmetrical, so my ADHD doesn't kick in. And yeah, so we'll go ahead and grab that, and it is really, really nice and super grippy. Feels really nice, and I don't have to worry about never being able to mount those things with the little wings on them. So again, I cut some of these down, and I will take some of the, there we go, corners off and kind of sand them a little bit so that it goes back to the round side that you'd normally see after you cut them. But other than that, I mean, it is pretty simple. If you guys can't figure this out, I guess you probably shouldn't be using the X-Acto knife in the first place. But yeah, so guys, that is all I've got for you there on these. So hopefully that this did help you a little bit with the handguards of your choice. If you like the polymer ones, we got you covered. If you like the metal ones, we got you covered. As long as it's MLOK, it has properly spec spaces, it's pretty much good to go. So if you guys have any questions, comments, write in the comment section. Guys, like, share, and subscribe. This definitely helps, especially with what's going on today. All right. Guys, that's all I got for you. It's super hot. I'm going to go outside and stand in the cold, whatever. So I don't know. Sleep.